Welcome to Sinful's Horror Stories. If you're new to the channel, please be sure to subscribe now. And be sure to leave a like on the video once you've watched. Tonight's video features true horrifying scary stories sent in from viewers like yourselves. Sit back, relax, stay sinful. Story number 1. This situation still gives me chills to this day. I lived in a sketchy part of the neighborhood, but I had never had a job outside other than helping my mom. I was very naive and gullible at the time. I was out of high school and looking for a job. I had worked with my mom junior to senior year cleaning houses, but I wanted to work somewhere else and gain some outside experience. When I had graduated high school, my mom and I decided it was time for me to look for another job because I needed some money for college. My mom loved to read newspapers, and we would get a Spanish newspaper called Mundo Hispanico every single week. I would look through it once in a while to read the comics or to see job ads at the end. One evening, I was so determined to find an ad that paid well and was something else that would give me another set of work skills. I was going through the classification section at the end of the newspaper when I found what I thought to be the perfect job for me. I don't remember word for word, but it was something along the lines of looking for young females age 18 to 25 for an open massage position at this location. Now, the location they gave me was 0.3 miles away from where I stayed, so I thought it would be perfect. I could walk to and from without having to worry about transportation, since we only had one car. Massage training will be provided, and the pay is handsomely good. Our girls earn anywhere from $500 to $900 per week. I thought, whoa, what a great wage. I can pay off my college in no time. I was so excited that I fit the profile that I showed my mom the job ad. My mom wasn't excited like I was, and she told me that it looked a little suspicious, and she thought that I should call first to see if there really was another person on the other end of the phone. So I did call and a lady answered. I asked about the free training, how much do you really make, and where the location was exactly. She seemed sweet on the phone, told me before we moved forward, they were doing interviews and already had other candidates on the list. She said that I should come in for an interview to see if I would make it to the second round of interviews. I agreed. She gave me the address and I looked it up. When I saw it was 0.3 miles from my apartment, again I was elated. I told my mom that I would be going to the interview at set time at this location and alone. She told me there was no way I would be going alone and that she would come with me. I was mad because I wanted to do this by myself without having her help, because in my little mind I know I was all grown up and didn't need help from her. The day came and she drove us in the only car we had. Now this address the lady gave me was weird, because it took us to a motel behind the shopping plaza that was next to our apartment. It didn't make sense to me why they would have an interview there, so we just circled the plaza looking for the place. My mom got frustrated and told me to just call the lady for the exact location, so I did. She told me that they were in the motel room XXX, and that they were there because it was a safety precaution. It seemed to make sense to me. I told her that I still could not find the place, so if she could speak to my mother and tell her exactly where it was, that would be helpful. The lady responded, "You're with your mother?" This time her voice changed from sweet to an almost angry, panicked voice. I said, "Yes, I am with her right now, because she is driving me." I passed the phone to my mom and she said, "Hello?" 3 times or so. The lady had hung up on her. So I called 2 more times, but she never picked up the phone. I was mad that the lady had just hung up, and so we went home. I never put 2 and 2 together until about 3 years after, when I heard on the news that there was a newspaper job ad that had been busted and people charged with human trafficking. The ad was very similar to the one I had read years ago. I thanked my mom over and over, because if it wasn't for her, I could have been dead or had been trafficked multiple times. I don't know where I would have ended up. I'm so grateful for my mom, despite me being angry at her for coming with me, because if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be where I am today. So sweet voice lady from the newspaper ad, let's not meet ever again. Story number 2. This story happened slightly over 20 years ago when I was 16. During this time I lived with my mom and stepdad in a remote area 70 miles west of Las Vegas, Nevada. I had gone out to visit some of my friends, and this was the first time I had been allowed to drive by myself. I had a lovely time watching a movie and getting food together, till it was time for me to go home. The curfew I was given was 10 p.m., with the caveat that if I was running late for any reason, to find a payphone and call. The night wrapped around me and my old 71 Chevy pickup, as there was no street lights or houses for the most of the way home. As I pulled up to the first of 2 stop signs, I could see an older sedan stopped with its hazard lights on. I pulled up behind it and waited as a man 30 to 40 started walking towards me from the driver's side. Even at this point, I didn't have any alarm bells going off. Being in the middle of the Mojave Desert, providing assistance to stranded people was common. People rapidly get into severe problems there by not having enough water when a vehicle breaks down, or not realizing that it's the fucking desert. People die wandering deliriously away from the highway, trying to find help. Anyhow, I rolled down my window, and as he came abreast of my door, I could smell the liquor on him. I could see another man in the passenger seat, as this was way before anyone I knew had cell phones, and the nearest payphone was a good 10 minutes drive ahead. I had no way to call the cops on a drunk driver. The man explained that his car had stalled and asked if I could help him out. I asked if his car was a stick shift, which it was, so I asked if he was familiar with push starting it. He said yes. So I agreed to as gently as I could push their car with my truck while they tried the engine. I knew my truck would be fine, and I didn't feel like it would be wise to get out, try to push their car physically. Push starting the car worked without a hitch, but here's where things go south. Both of the men get back out to thank me. They invite me to hang out and have some fun with them. I decline. They pull off to the side of the road and I continue on my way. Only the fact that they started to follow me. Here I am, it's 9:50. I'm running late because I stopped to help them. These drunk, creepy older guys have started to follow me on a road without any man-made light, except for car headlights, and I'm at least 10 minutes from a payphone. I think to myself, maybe I'm being paranoid, so I turn down a road that I know gave me a couple turnoffs to either head back to town or loop around to the gas station with a payphone. The car follows behind me. I'm thinking, shit. I take another turn that only leads to a couple houses at the end of the road, and they turn behind me. I took another turn to loop around back to the gas station, and they follow me again. So at least I know they are following me and not just heading home. At this point, my heart is pounding. I decided to try something to lose them. I pull to the side of the road. I see them pull up behind me. I wait as the driver gets out of the car and begins walking towards me. His companion also gets out and started walking towards me. I wait until they almost get to my tailgate, then I floor it. My wheels dig into the rocks and poof dirt, causing a cloud behind me. With the leadway, I head towards the gas station. The gas station is deserted, but the payphone is showered in the light from the gas pumps. I call home and explain what happened and why I was running late. My stepdad asked if the gas station worker could be seen, and I let him know I couldn't see him behind the counter and that he was probably in the back. I wasn't in trouble, but I was asked to hurry home. So to the too drunk idiot that wanted to fuck with a 16-year-old, let's not meet again. Story number 3. I was driving down Main Street in my hometown with a couple of friends. We were at a red light at the main intersection in town. I'm not often back home these days, so we were goofing around during the break that the red light gave me. All of a sudden, I saw this woman walking through the intersection, just wandering through almost aimlessly. She got to the sidewalk on my passenger side. My friends and I all kind of watched, because unfortunately addiction is common there, so it wasn't surprising. Then she looked right at us. My car lock was loud when I locked it from the driver's door, and in case I was being paranoid, to avoid offending the woman, told my friend to lock the door before the woman got close enough. My friend, of course, did not. All of a sudden, this woman lunged toward the car, wild-eyed, and I slammed the lock button. The moment I hit the button, she had her hand on the handle and had started to open the door. It literally caught the door as it opened, so it wasn't quite closed, but it was still locked and not flying open. Thank God the light turned green and we sped off. Story number 4. I turned on the TV and slumped onto the couch in front of it. On the screen, a reporter was talking about an incident a couple miles up the road from here. Not sure how he did it, but inmate Jackson Stone has managed to escape the Cornerstone Mental Institute. At 6 a.m. this morning, Stone was unaccounted for during the roll call, and when guards checked on his cell, they found him missing. His whereabouts are unknown at this time, but police are beginning a search in the nearby areas. He is considered dangerous and should not be approached. He was last seen wearing a standard orange inmate uniform before going to sleep last night. If you have any knowledge about his location, please call police services. The screen switched to a man sitting behind a desk. Thank you, Katie. In other new. I turned off the television and looked over the back of the couch at the body on the floor, his blood seeping into the carpet. No, not going back, not going back, not find me, not catch me, not find me, not going back. I take off my bloodied orange uniform, search around the house to find a new pair of clothes. Not going back. Story number 5. I came home from an amazing night with my mates. When I got in, I was feeling so tired I went to bed. I woke up a couple of minutes later and I couldn't move, shout, or scream. But then I felt this cold rush of air on my neck, and out I saw something. It wasn't someone, it was a thing. It wasn't human, but I knew it wasn't real. I finally was able to look to my left, but it wasn't there. I looked to my right, and there it was. It wrapped its long, bony fingers around my neck, but then it raised its other hand. But it wasn't a hand. Instead, it was a hook. He swung it down at me. When I finally woke up with my own hands around my neck, the scars of that night still stuck in my head. Thank you guys for watching and listening. Please be sure to leave a like, comment, share, and subscribe for future content. Please email your true scary stories to thesinfulsavant@gmail.com. I'll leave my email in the description box below as well. Without your stories, this channel will cease to exist. So please send your stories. Stop being bashful and shy. I need the most horrifying, indescribable stories that you guys have experienced to keep things going the way I want to. So send them now. Until we meet again, stay sinful.